Did you know that India's net household financial savings have dropped to 5.1% of GDP as of financial year 2023, the lowest in 47 years? And here's a shocking fact: 80% of Indians have less than 10,000 saved for their emergencies. It's alarming, but today I'll show you how you can invest your salary like a pro and turn things around for yourself. Do you find yourself living paycheck to paycheck? Well, you're not alone. Over 70% people in India are having the same situation. But the good news is that you can break out from that and you can have a learning how to invest your salary like a professional.
Hi, I'm Udit Saxena. I'm a global CXO leadership coach. I've been a CXO. I've worked in 5 countries over the last 30 years, and I've impacted 10,000 lives across the world. My students have come from the US, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Asia.
Udit Saxena is the founder of CXO Hive, an award-winning global CXO coach, specializes in executive coaching and leadership development. Trained by John Mattone and experienced across 5 countries, he guides leaders and organizations to achieve exceptional results. Let's put our hands together for Udit.
I'm accepting this award for every transformed client award. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from whichever part of the world you're logging in. Such a pleasure to have you here again today. And it's really my pleasure to welcome Taresh. Taresh, if you can put your video on now. It's great to see you. And we're at a very important point in history, right? Many of you know that there are many layoffs that are happening. There are many people who are, unfortunately without jobs. And at this stage, what's very, very critical is to have somebody, an expert, who can actually tell you what is really important in your life. How should you plan for these? And if it's happened to you, unfortunately, what you should do. So, welcome, Taresh, and great to have you here.
Thank you, Mother. It's awesome to be here, the company of such great people in India. And you, of course, Mother. Thank you for inviting me today. It's great to be here.
Okay, Taresh, as we get started, just to let other people get to know you a little better, right? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your life. How did you become a financial planner? And you've got some very interesting stories of how you managed to become financially free, right? So maybe just share that with everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, namaste, sat sri akal from wherever you are in the world. It's great time to be in India. My name is Taresh Bhatia. I'm a CFP, Certified Financial Planner, MBA, and with 37 years of experience, I'm father to a beautiful daughter and a handsome son whose mother I've been in love for the last 30 odd years. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I did go broke three times in my life, and that reshaped how I look at money today. Money problems are not for exactly money is not there, but they are the clarity problems. When I got this shock in my life that money is a problem, I started learning CFP 2004. FPSB India came to India from USA, and I joined Certified Financial Planning course, pursued as a discipline, not as a badge. It was my passion. Went on to do Master Practitioner of NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming for Behavior of Money Understanding, and that I documented for years, wrote the book, The Richness Principles, founded the academy, The Richness Academy. Today, I'm on a mission to move people from anxiety to clarity. 100,000 people across India who can learn how money can work for them, bring them financial freedom, perhaps thereby starting a financial revolution in India. My belief is richness is alignment of your money and your happiness and peace. This goal of 100,000 individual and Indian families to live worry free is a mammoth task. I've done over 10,000 plus individuals and families based in Gurgaon with my family, grounded with these philosophies, is what I believe, I practice, and I do. That's where I started. Thank you, Mother.
Superb, Taresh. Very, very inspiring. I think just as you have a mission of 100,000 people who are financially secure in many ways, right? So it aligns so much that my mission is to help a million leaders get to 1 CR and live very holistic lives. So I think it's a great that both of us have missions that align. And one of the things that always happens, and I never wish this for anybody, right, to get laid off or to lose your job or whatever may have happened, right? And with AI, see, until it happens to you, we all believe that's going to happen to somebody else. So even though most people are emotionally aware of what could possibly happen to them, and they're being financially aware, but most Indians or people around the world, why Indians, are very financially unprepared. So, what's your advice? Why does this happen?
Well asked, Mudit. I see it day in and day out throughout my sessions with my clients. People are not aware and they're not prepared for anything to do with the money and anything which is going to happen tomorrow or in the next years to come. Simple reason is they were never taught any school or college how to plan for uncertainty. Financial planning is very far away. It's just started in the last 15 odd years. But look at 70s, 80s, 90s, Gen Z, millennials. We were never taught anything to how to do with money. Even today, there's no school or college which gives you knowledge about how do you plan your finances. And therefore, this brings overconfidence in your existing assets, whether you have your mutual funds or stocks or real estate. And finally, what happens? Ignorance. Ignorance about liquidity. You feel that I bought a property and I can liquidate tomorrow, and one room I can pick and sell, and I'll get 25 lakhs out of 1 year. Assets are not always accessible money. One has to understand it, learn it, and let me tell you, whatever I say today, and people will listen today. It's something which is not just verbal lessons or you read somewhere and start tomorrow. It's only one thing: habits. Therefore, mental awareness does not equal to financial action immediately. It's a habit forming. It's a mindset. It starts if you believe, and you have to break your old beliefs. You have to have that mental bandwidth to say, okay, let me understand, let me see how this works, let me remove my ignorance. Whatever people have told me, my parents, my friends, my growing, and my people around me, they're telling me, maybe with their experience. And that's what I learned in NLP, neuro linguistic programming, that our brain gets wired with these small patterns which keep forming one after the other. And that becomes a firm belief. Real estate is the best. Put gold, money in gold. Always will give you returns. But, but, it's a but. Thank you, Madhu.
Absolutely, Tarish. And I can completely agree, right? In middle class families, like, all of us grew up, it's even considered inappropriate to discuss money, right? Money is meant for, all those uneducated business types, right? But it's so true. And I agree with you. Nobody taught us. And I can relate this. My kids went to college and even they were unprepared, and they always call up, Dad, give us some more money, because they've never learned really. So I think you brought out a very, very important point, that it's never taught, especially in our culture. Nobody talks about it, and then people end up with all kinds of problems, right? So very well said. So let's move on. I mean, and just say that there are people, I would say, in my community, there are a lot of professionals at, let's say 30 years of age, right? They could be 30, they could be 40, they could be 50. What do you think are sound financial principles that they should follow at each of these stages of life? Like, supposing they haven't done anything today at all, just assume, right? What would you tell them? How should they get started?
Excellent question. I come across this question a lot of times. And with job loss suddenly happening, redundancy happening, and you read articles, you come across friends, and you start thinking. And this age 35 to 45 is an age today in India with AI happening. There are major job losses looming around. At least people get that insecurity. I don't know what's going to happen with me. So I've got five things to say. Number one is that people get this peak fixed commitments. I'll go to office, I'll work, I'll get salary. Therefore, the identity gets tied to a role. I am a general manager, I am a vice president, I am the president. So it's a role I will do, I'll get money. That's an identity you tie up. Third, there are fewer reset options. Reset means, like, in our computers, when we have a problem, then we do reset, reboot. And if the software is not working, we just remove it and reinstall. We don't have that in our life. Any reset options? Nobody tells us what's a reset option. Fourth, there's higher family dependence. In our Indian culture, our wife, our husband, our son, our daughter, our mother, our parents, sisters, brother, extended families, or even just us and somebody being dependent, that becomes an important factor. What will happen if there is job loss? What will I do? What will they do? What will they think? So that's the fourth thing we don't normally think of, because we have lived in good job securities. And the last is fear, which is the fear of loss of control, not just income. I will lose control. I am a vice president of a company. I will not have a car tomorrow. My mobile may not be there. I will not have a fixed income coming. It becomes scary. And that's the moment when people get into panic and they want to know what exactly to do. So these are the five things I would say. Yeah. Udit.
Sure. I think very well brought out, because these are realities of life, right? So let's just get into, assume that, people have not planned, right? So now we know what are the problems of identity, what is the problems of, being emotionally sort of aware, but not having done anything. So let's say for the audience today, if they have to start today, right, in terms of a financial plan, what do you think are the elements of a basic financial plan? What should they be doing? And you can take scenarios, right? Maybe
Okay.
someone who's young at 30, somebody who's at 40, and maybe somebody who's 50 plus. What should they do?
Excellent. Excellent. Again, as I said, I come across this across all clients, and these points what you've asked is the basic thing I get started with. The first thing before anything starts. These are the four, five things I would say. So, everyone here, thank you very much for being here. I would ask you to make notes right now. Pick up pen, paper. At least there's four or five things I'm going to ask you to do. Do start with this. Think over it today, right now, and take massive action at the end of the day. Number one is your contingency or emergency fund. Whether you have insurance or not, or health insurance or not, which I'll come to later, but number one importance is contingency fund. If you don't have it, well, plan in the next few months. Make the plan today. 12 months minimum of your core expenses should be kept aside. And just remind me, I'll tell you where. So 12 months. Before COVID, I used to say 6 months. But I've seen during COVID that you need two things. You need a bed and an oxygen. And for both, you need a lot of money, whether you have insurance, but you need it now. You need to give it to XYZ. So the money should be now. Immediately in 10 minutes comes into your bank account. You can make payment within few. You may have a credit card, but I'm talking of very liquid money in hand. So 12 months of your core expenses. Point number two, what is core expenses? Now, expenses is your household expenses purely. But I would add, now this is not income. So you earn 2 lakh rupees. I'm not talking of 2 lakh into 12, 24 lakhs. No, I'm talking household expenses. Let's say you earn 2 lakhs or 5 lakhs and your 2 lakhs is your household expenses in out of 5 lakhs, let's say. So 2 lakhs household expenses plus add the EMIs, any loans, any insurance premiums, and any dependents. So three things get added when I say expenses. You can make it monthly and then you can add up and then add annual expenses. For example, your life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, home insurance, your children's school fees, and all such expenses, dependents, if you pay to your parents or dependents, and any other such expenses which you cannot remove. I'm not talking of lifestyle expenses. So expenses put together total of 12 months should be put aside. Third, important is that where should it be? So I'll just repeat again, expenses includes EMIs and essentials. Essentials running your household. Household, your husband or wife should know that if he loses his job, there is layoff, the backup is going to give you 12 months of money coming in easily for the next 12 months. And believe me, that's such a smoother for anybody who's worrying about what will happen if I lose a job. I'm telling you very seriously. I've have clients, I've told you, just keep this 12 months aside. No worries after this. So point number three is where. So make a note, put 20% in your savings account. Again, very carefully, not more than 5 lakh rupees per bank per person. I'm very careful on what I say because more than 5 lakhs, no bank guarantees. Any bank in India does not guarantee. So the government of India says if your bank closes, shuts down, as has happened in India across, that 5 lakhs is secured, not more than that. So I say 5 lakhs, savings account, make mini FDs. So 20%, let's say we've had that example of 1 lakh rupees expenses, you're putting aside 12 lakhs. So 2 lakhs you can put in husband, wife, 1 lakh each in savings account. Rest 10 lakhs out of the 12 lakhs, please put into debt mutual funds. And today you must learn what are debt mutual funds. How do you invest? Through an app, in 5 minutes you can invest, in 5 minutes you can get the money into your bank account. Yes, it's that easy. You do need a financial planner, you do need a mutual fund advisor. But for this purpose, for debt funds, there are debt funds which you can just put 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, and they will come into your bank account up to a certain limit per person within 5 minutes back into your account. So I'll give you not names, but I'll give you 3 categories which you can make a note and easily, safely keep the money for the next couple of years. Many reasons, that's a very detailed discussion, but very briefly, arbitrage funds, equity mutual funds, you have equity savings fund as a category. So these 2 categories are safe and sound. And then there are 25 other categories in mutual funds. So just saying 2 categories. They will give you more than 1% what you get in a fixed deposit. In a fixed deposit, please make note, in the end of every year, if you're in the 30% bracket, which I assume you are, your TDS will be cut and deposited. Here, there's no TDS. So you keep it for 10 years, there's no tax deduction. After 10th year, if you withdraw the complete amount, then there is capital gains. I'm not saying there's no tax, but so much taxes reduced ethically and legally. Fourth point, this provides you time and emotional stability. When you've done this, it gives you that satisfaction that I have got that contingency fund, which will give me the security. When you drive on a NH, National Highway, Expressway, did you know there are four guarantees? If your vehicle breaks down, there'll be a breakdown vehicle coming. If you lose fuel, they'll give you fuel. If you meet with an accident, they will tow. If you need emergency, anything else, they will come and help you at no cost. And this should be that no cost national highway money expressway in your life today. Name it that way. Your name, National Highway Money Expressway, and keep it aside. I do it normally like this, Modat. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Lots of tips over there. And I'm going to just request all our viewers if you can mute yourself. If you're not speaking, please, because you might just disturb somebody else. Okay. And this is really quite heavy. Okay. So I'm just going to, I'm trying to digest this and I want to give my audience the time to digest this. So we're going to take a little break now. Yeah. And we'll be back in a minute as
Awesome.
the audience digests it. Yeah. So, team, can you just share something while everyone else digests this?
Are you a leader looking for a promotion, a salary increase, or even a better job? And you're working really hard, right? You invest in certifications, you've really trying to upgrade yourself. But I think you know that maybe your career hasn't done as well as you wanted it to be. Maybe some of your colleagues are a little ahead of you. Well, don't worry. That's why I've got the Global CXO Accelerator Summit here to India on February 21st and 22nd. Actually, it's a 7-day event, 5 days online, and 2 days live in Bangalore. Why is this event special for you? Simply because I'm getting CXOs from the US, from Silicon Valley, from Washington, DC. We've got CEOs of many Indian companies here who are going to come and share secrets of what helped them succeed. We've got a special GCC section where leaders from the global capability centers are going to tell you what's required in that high growth area in India. And above all, I've got HR leaders here also. So we're going to go beyond just resumes and interviews, but what is it that they look for when they want high quality talent? What is it that they need when they do their talent planning? Interested? Click on the link below and I'll see you on February 21st and 22nd in Bangalore. Click, book your tickets now before they disappear. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to tell all our viewers we have a fantastic Global CXO Accelerator Summit that's coming. I think you've seen the ad there. And I'm going to ask my team to just put the link. We've got a very, very special offer for you. Just put the links in for those of you who are interested. Just click on the link and I hope to see you because, this is the only one of the main times when I meet all my everybody in my community and whoever's not in my community physically. So just come in and I'll see you on February 21st and 22nd. Okay, great. So coming back, let's just come back, right? So, I was thinking while you said, right? So just to decode a little bit and correct me because I'm thinking like a mid-career leader now. So my expenses are 1 lakh a month. Okay, these are not, this is my rent, this is my food, this is my children's education, nothing fancy, just something to get by. Okay, so I think if I earn or I spend 1 lakh of actual expenses, I should keep 12 lakhs away as a beginning. Then I say, look, I have a life insurance there. I have some, other commitments for me and my family. Even though I think one of the things I'm going to ask you to touch here is that, while companies provide some kind of insurance, right? Whether individuals should do something on their own, that's another question. So if I have any other commitments which I'm committed to, right, I should also add that to the 12 lakhs. Is my understanding right when you say 12 lakhs of committed expenses? I mean, 1 year's annual expenses. Have I missed something?
You're right, Mudit. I had very clearly mentioned, and I'll repeat again for everyone and for that clarification. Thank you for that question here. Again, I'll say the backup of 12 months. If you have 1 lakh expenses, you must include your expenses, not income, your EMIs, and essentials, and also have all kinds of loans which you have annually spread over, could be quarterly, half yearly. Then there are fourth all the insurance premiums. If you have annual life health annual, then you have car insurance or any other insurance, add that to the annual. And you have dependents because you can't say no to them. So dependents are important, whether it's children, whether it's parents, or even you're gifting out or you're donating somewhere. Please do not stop that because they understand you're going to give it. And finally, yes, these are the four components. And give time and emotional confidence to yourself that these four things are covered. Yes, Mudit.
Superb, superb. Thank you so much for explaining that and adding to all the other things. Now let's look at it. Assume that everybody has done something. I'm sure there's a basic amount of financial literacy. Some people have put money into real estate. Some people have put money into SIPs, etc. But let's assume if you were to start, right? If somebody who has not been doing it, okay, and actually, let me start by moving one step backward, right? Many of us first spend and then whatever's left, we invest, right?
Right.
I want you to very clearly tell the audience, what should be the right way? Should they put the amount for investment first and then spend? What is the balance? And if that is true, then what should they be doing at 30? What should they be doing at 40? And what should they be doing at 50?
Okay, excellent. Uh, just two things before that I answer. This kind of a backup which you asked, I forgot few things and I'll add those. The backup should be very personal. Please do not discuss with people that you have a backup of 12 months. Absolutely confidential between you and your spouse. And this backup will depend on only your family responsibilities. And it will vary if you're single versus a dual income. If you're husband, wife, then that calculation which I told you will vary. So it's the expenses. And finally, you have to look at the industry volatility. When you're looking at layoff and you're planning your back off, if you feel that your industry is so confident, well, don't keep 12 months, keep 6 months. And finally, the last factor is career seniority. If you feel you are at a position where nobody can touch you and you are the CEO, the company will collapse if you are asked to go. Well, then also that backup will, the equation will change. And I've explained again, where do you keep that backup? So with that in mind, that emergency fund is done, and it is not financial planning. Emergency fund, just repeating again, is a shock absorber. Every vehicle has got a very good shock absorber if you're looking at a good vehicle. And financial planning on the other side, what you've just asked, is a navigation system. You need a GPS, and you need, earlier we needed a compass and a map. Today we need GPS in our vehicle to drive from, let's say, Delhi to Jaipur or Delhi to Kanpur. So financial planning is basically like a GPS in your car. It will tell you Kanpur is this side, Jaipur is this side. If your GPS is wrong or you don't know, and you're taking verbal instructions from somebody, भैया ये किधर जाना है, how do I get there, and they will tell you wrong directions, it's not going to help. So don't ask people when it comes to money and your personal financial plan. An emergency fund is only going to help you survive. It's not financial planning. So planning now will help you progress where you are going forward. And just to add again there, that this layoffs in 20s and layoff in 30s and 40s will vary a lot. Therefore, this financial planning for emergency fund uh, gives you that confidence now to build up the financial plan and anticipate what may happen instead of reacting and saying, okay, oh, next month I'm off. What do I need to do now? Coming to your question now, key pillars of financial planning. There are about six key pillars. You can make note, and you should build your house on certain foundations. Those pillars are important. You can always build. When I went to my architect and said, build a house. So he said, these are the foundation. These are the strong pillars on the ground floor or the basement. I said, can I build first, second, third after this? He said, yes, if your pillars are strong today, you can always build first, second, third without demolishing the ground floor pillars. So today, build these six pillars very strong, one by one, if you have not done so. And I've categorized them as six pillars of financial planning. Can I explain that, Mudit? Is that the question?
Absolutely, absolutely. Go ahead, please.
So the number one is the cash flow clarity. Be very clear what is cash flow. So income, expenses, and what you have to pay off. What are the dates? When are they coming around? Make a January to December of now 26 has started. So plan the year accordingly. Number two, as I said just now, emergency readiness should be there. So have that emergency fund as I explained those points separately. Number three is risk protection. I'm going in the order of importance, which I also tell my clients when they come to me. Let's plan according to these six pillars. So the number three is risk protection. Depending in your age, family, responsibilities, and the risk involved. A risk involved could be that you've taken a loan, a education loan of 1 crore, you have taken a house loan, a personal loan, or your spouse is not working, dependent on you, or you are a single person, then please understand you don't have a risk. Financial planning and insurance is a components together, but people confuse it. It's not 80s and 90s. We are in 25, 26, and 30 and 35. We're looking at this AI environment where you have to be very carefully understanding that insurance you need to take only if you need, to the right level and to the right age. So risk protection, life insurance, please take only term insurance from an insurance company called as life insurance company. Number two, your health insurance. Please be ensuring that you have, in my opinion today, at least 50 lakhs of health insurance in place. You could have a 10 lakhs base and a 40 lakh, 50 lakhs top up cover. Because today what you have, and the insurance companies having so much database and information and having access to so much information about you, can find out if you lie around and you give misrepresentation. So your age today 40, you have to plan till your age 85. So tomorrow at 45, if you have a heart attack, no insurance company is going to give you a health insurance. So if you have taken only 5 lakhs today thinking I don't need much, you're wrong. Because in my experience, last 37 years, I've seen umpteen number of cases getting rejected because they didn't disclose. So health insurance, please ensure you have at least 50 lakhs. And that would at least cover you as of today for your next 20, 30 years. Medical inflation is 15%. So go on increasing by 15% every 2, 3 years at least. Fourth is always have goal based investing. Goal linked investing means you have 5 goals in life, and I'll come to the second and the last, like retirement, children's education, buying your own house. You've not done emergency planning. You have not taken your life insurance, health insurance. So these are goals: buying a car, going on vacations, and other funds, second home, vacations, and giving out donations, helping people, charity. List down all the goals. Pick up the top three today. Now invest according to these goals that I would need. Now that's where a financial planner's role comes in. How much do you need? What is inflation? How many years you're going to live? What have you got today? What is the value today? So that a role of a financial planner, which we do for our clients, that is that work. But just think of the top three goals right now and invest only according to that. So if it's retirement, plan for retirement. Then I need money after 10 years, 5 years, 20 years. Simple. The fourth comes your retirement visibility, which I was just saying. So be very clear. Some noise from somewhere. Okay. So be very clear that your retirement goal is very clearly visible to you and you can see it, that I would need 5 crores at the end of 10 years from now so that I can live from my age 55 or 60 till 85. I need that 5 crores and I'm not going to use it for anything else, not buying house. I'm not giving to children. This is my money. This is my fund. This is my retirement security. So that's the fourth point, pillar, I would say. And second last is estate clarity. Do think what you want to make in your will. Whom do you want to give? If you're not made your will today, be very careful what you want to will. Obviously, something which you own, which you want to give, and somebody, your son, daughter, wife, needs it. If they don't need it, well, be very clear. I'm not going to give you. So have your clarity on estate planning. All this, what we have done now, all this money, you must have your will as of yesterday. We know our date of birth. We don't know our date of death. So be very certain that that uncertainty is covered under estate planning. Now, these are 6 pillars I've given you. I'll just repeat again. Cash flow clarity, emergency fund, risk protection, goal-based investing, retirement visibility, and estate clarity. Can I add one more? If all of this is not giving you happiness, if doesn't bring you confidence, if doesn't help you to bring that smile at the end of every day, please relook at all the 6 pillars and say, I need to strengthen 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5, I need to work on. Number 4, I need to work. Once this is done, the 7th pillar, always keep it here, happiness. Because nobody is going to give you more of happiness or less of happiness other than, I believe, these 6 pillars of financial foundation. And these will change. These will change in age. Mudit, was that clear? Can I go to the 30, 40, 50s question which you asked me?
Yes, please do. Please do.
Okay. So this financial planning changes when you are in your 30s and 40s and 50s. Please make a note now. 30s is the age for foundation and habits. If you are in your 30s, the habit formation is very important. If you have your son and daughter or people who are dependent on you, tell them that this is your age of foundation. You must learn to keep aside 20% of your income for long term goals, 30% for short term goals, maximum 50% for your expenses. But habit forming is very important. When the income comes, when the salary comes on first or third or whatever date, you should have a cutoff that SIP I will put out automatically for the next 12 months or period. So and so SIP will go out. That habit, trust me, I've got clients coming and telling me that habit forming which you made, Tarish, 10 years back, 20 years back is still working and is a no brainer. It goes out. It's a habit forming. And when they see it year after year that the money is growing at 12, 15, 18, 25%, that habit forming becomes thankful. So in your 30s, you must have that foundation of habits. Next is in your 40s. Well, 40s is the point I believe one should be looking at acceleration and protection. Acceleration because now you have your emergency fund clear, you have got your 6 pillars very clear, and you have your dependents and your family structure and financial strength, financial foundation laid very clear. You're now, depending on your risk appetite, you're now ready to take your risk in life. Risk, I mean, risk of investing. So I very clearly say, and the stats say, if you have been investing since 1977 in any stock or mutual fund, it is 100% sure, mark my words, I'm not mincing, 100% sure that you will never lose money. And the average return has been, as per stats, 17.4% year to year. It's called CAGR in the last 10 odd years, any backward of 10 years. So I could say mutual funds safely because they're already spread across 30, 40 stocks. So you should look at equity mutual funds when you have a horizon of 10 years and plus, at least 7 year plus, with review and reconciliation and asset reallocations. So 40s is the age for acceleration and protection. So protection, as I said in the pillars, the insurance is important, health insurance is important. If money has not been allocated, allocate money out. Say confidently, I need to do it. Tomorrow I'll do it. And make a note today. The third component, now you are in your 50s, let's say. Now you may ask, now what, Taresh? I've done that foundation habits, I've done acceleration, I've done protection, that's all done. I'm in my 50s today, Taresh. What now? So one of the pillars was make the transition ready for the next generation. Start preparing. You have to be clear what you want to give to whom and why. You want to give it to charity, be very clear and honest. And tell your people, your wife, your husband, your children, what you plan to do. Don't have fights after you're gone. No, no, Papa said this, Mummy said this, but you can't. And there's no written document. So now you should also focus on preservation. You built your 2 CR, you built your 5 CR, you built your 50 CR. Well, in India, you don't need more than 10 CR to survive for 30, 40 years. You don't need. Rest, you can easily start saying, I'm going to be helping a cause. So here I will add a cause. At least 10% start giving out to a cause. You can easily build a personal trust. My name is Taresh Bhatia. So I can start a trust called the Taresh Living Trust. And I can just spend 5,000 or 10,000 rupees to make a trust at the local court, and I can start the trust and I can start putting money into it. I can put 10,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees every month into it. And from there, I can start giving to a girl cause. I can give 1,000 rupees to 10 girls tomorrow for their education, school fees, or whatever. Straight give it out to people who need it, but feel happy. So in 50s, preservation is important, that whatever you've built, that should not be going into. So I got these 19 out of 20 list, which I tell my clients don't do because you don't need it at this age. You don't need a second house to invest. You don't need real estate now to start investing. Don't need crypto. You don't need bonds. You don't need too much of gold investing and 19 other things. You could just be in mutual funds, safe and spread over and conservative and aggressive depending on your risk profile. So in 50s, focus on preservation and transition happening now. Yeah, Mudit, did I cover all the three?
You covered everything. I'm surprised, how everybody else is going to be. There's so much information, right? The six pillars and what you should be doing at 30, 40, 50. So it's fantastic. It's a gem. And, I think people really need to be making a lot of notes. Guys, make these notes because, these pearls of wisdom you will not get, right? You're talking to a certified financial planner. So please make it. So normally I keep questions at the end, but I can see there's something happening in the chat where people are like really worried. Okay, so we'll just take one question, and after this, I'm going to go and take questions at the end. Okay, so one of the questions that's coming up is what if someone hasn't done this in his 40s, right? So what should you do?
Uh, Mudit, in 40s, as I said just now, that's the age for what you should have done in your 30s and 40s. So what you have not done in your 30s was the foundation laying, and you could go back to the notes of the six pillars and 40s. So foundation and habits, start with the habits. Even starting with a 1,000 rupees per month investing, anybody can do it. Just start putting 1,000 rupees in one SIP today for the next 12 months. That's habit formation, simple and clear. Foundation is important. Habit is important because the mind says he started doing it. He started putting in money in SIP. So start with very simple SIP. Second, you need to think of acceleration. If you haven't been in equity mutual funds, this is the right time to start investing. Don't look at this market up and down, that yesterday the market crashed by 200 points. The Sensex went from 85 to 83. What do I do now? That's a work of a financial planner to tell you, don't worry. You're investing for 10 years. India is one of the only countries, Mudit, you see war happening every now and then. So I'm told there are out of 180 countries, 77 countries are always in war with somebody or the other, some border issue or something. India is the only country no war is happening. I don't see it in Gurugram. I don't see it at your place in Chennai and Bangalore that any borders are not secured. And even if we are so sure our economy is strong, so after China, we are there. After US, we are there. Why? Because our economy is so strong that all the population above 50% is all in their 20s and 30s. And the next 30 odd years is still going to be the same, which means the people who are going to earn are going to consume. Everybody will need soap, oil, car, toothbrush, clothes. So this consumption is so important in India. We don't need to be dependent on any other country. If I was in Vietnam or any other country, Taiwan, then my 90% economy is dependent on exports. If exports stop, my economy is going to go down. 20 years back, not praising too much of Modi, but 20 years back, the governments before that 20 years were not even thinking about these lines. I would appreciate Modi, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. One thing terribly like about him, travels every month to a country and says, let's do export to you. And he spread that fear of export that only US, 40% of India's export to US. तो उसको बोलते हैं अगर यूएस में वो छींक भी मारता था तो हमारे यहाँ जुकाम हो जाता था. If he sneezes, we will catch the cold. He's reversed it. You do whatever you want to, Mr. Trump. It doesn't affect our economy. We'll change course. We'll export to somebody else. Africa, Europe, New Zealand, Australia. He's going to every country which no PM has gone, spreading the risk across. So I'm so confident the next 20 odd years, at least till 2040, you can easily be investing. So start investing even 1,000 rupees a month, make it a habit, and putting those goals together, putting 1,000 rupees into each goal or 10,000 rupees into each goal, 10 years, start your SIP. Yeah, that's one. Can I say that I've answered that? Yeah.
Yes, superb, superb. I'm going to tell people there's so much wisdom coming in. Please take some time and just reflect, because I think there's a lot, which you have to offer. So let's just take a break and we'll be back in 30 seconds to a minute. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, that was a quick break for you to reflect on, and I'm going to tell my team to get the link again for the event. I'm going to encourage all of you who've not come in there, learn from senior leaders. Who knows, you might network with somebody who will give you a new job. You might meet some of the future employers for yourself. So don't miss it. Click on the link and then let's come back again. Okay. Tarish, you've been giving us phenomenal advice, and I just think that you're telling us all the right things of what we should do, right? But the human brain, right, and the way I see it is that despite listening, right, all our parents told us a lot of things, we never listened. At least we didn't listen to everything, right? So tell us some of the mistakes. Somehow, unfortunately, human beings realize only through the mistakes which they can relate to. So just tell everybody here, what are the biggest mistakes people make so that we wake and shake this group up?
Okay. Thank you. One of the questions there, I'll just take the last part of that question. Somebody asked 20s. So I've explained from 20s to 50s. Last part there is 60s. So I've just said on the 50s and 60s, that's a point to consolidate. That's a point to say, I'll take a minute, Mudit, on that part. Can I?
Yeah, you can. But take a minute, because most
Sure.
of the people here are much younger.
Okay. So plan your consolidation of your wealth now in 60s, and be very sure that you need money for what. And I've seen clients who cannot now sign, cannot see perhaps. So you have to make arrangements that the next 25 years of your lifetime, money comes to you without you doing anything. And there are investments which can bring you that. Coming to the point now, which you said common mistakes. I see 4 or 5 common mistakes when I meet new clients every day. One is they invest without a purpose. Number one, there's no purpose. I just started investing. This was a good opportunity. Crypto came in, real estate came in, gold came in. A friend gave me a tip. I started. Please do not invest without a purpose. It should be a purpose. Number two is don't ignore time horizons. So be very clear. I need 2 crores after 10 years when I need this for a purpose called as my retirement. So time horizon is very important. Number three is mismatch with your life goals. So in 2 years, if you want to sell off everything and you want to go parasailing or you want to leave India and go somewhere else settle, don't have investments which are mismatched with your life goals. Life goals are very important because that brings your mindset and your clarity of money together. Number four is panic during volatility. So when certain war happens anywhere in the world, obviously the economy in India is slightly shaken and the Sensex drops and people feel, Abhi, what will happen? So 2008, COVID, things like this world events, the Black Swan events, they freeze people and they make them panic. Don't get panicked. Because if the top three things which I just told you are very clear, you're investing with a purpose, you got time horizon clear, and you got your goals very clear, nothing is there to panic. So those are the 4 mistakes people make, Udit.
Superb, superb. So let's come to some more basic questions because I think you've given us fantastic pillars. You've told us all the right things to do, right? But let's just look at it from a perspective, right? Most Indian homes, typical, the guy, parents will tell you, "Beta, ghar le lo," right? Now, when should somebody buy, a home, right? Should they be investing in the 20s, 30s, 40s? Because the time horizon point that you mentioned, right? When I look at it from an investment perspective, the returns, the rental returns is extremely low, unless you're in a very high growth market. Okay. So you could be, but I don't want to, I want to get your, perspective on that. So the question is, when should somebody invest in real estate?
Uh, I'm very clear when I tell my clients when they come for financial planning sessions, only one thing, your own house, one house in India where you plan to live, stay for your lifetime. Simple, clear. Please do not invest in real estate for the purpose of investing because that's a seller's game. They have to sell you something. Don't do it because there are umpteen number of other opportunities. At least for my question to you, Mudit, and for the audience here, don't do it. It's not worthwhile. You will not have liquidity. You will have a lot of pains. You don't know the uncertainties. You've not been in that business. For example, if you start investing in mutual funds, the mutual fund managers who are called the mutual fund managers who do the investing, they have professional careers, they have professional qualification, they know where to invest, which stocks to pick, and you can enter and exit. And there are 10 other benefits of mutual funds, which one could do easily up to 5 crores of investing. So don't go into real estate. That's the straight answer. Yeah.
So I think what you said was definitely have one home where you want to live,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
Now here's the question, which is in addition to that. See, and here's what I've been hearing, and I want to ask you. So, firstly, from my understanding, if people haven't sort of invested, first thing they should do is to keep an emergency fund, right?
Yes.
That we talked about. That's the first thing before they do
Absolutely.
anything else. Now, assume that they have that 12 months, plan with them, right? Next, what should they do, right? The reason I'm asking you this question is when people are younger, okay, after the 12 months, should they be looking at a home which they want to live in? Should they be looking at mutual funds? Should they be looking at something else as the next investment opportunity? The reason I'm asking you this is see, if you're in your 20s or 30s and assume you'll work 20 years, right?
Right. Right. Right.
what you invest in, if you take that money and put it into equity because you're younger, right? It could be shares, etc. Over 20 years, the kind of returns that you would get in equity would far exceed very often what you would be paying, because the amount of interest you pay on a home loan is significant also, right?
Okay.
Would you say that at 20 or 30, when you have a long runway, should they be investing after the 12 months into a home, or should they put that money into equity, right? Because they have a long horizon, and in the long run, people say equity beats many others, and they can buy the same home at 50. I just want your views. This is what I've heard, and I want to listen from a financial planner.
Okay, so to put it right, Mudit, what you're asking is professionals salaried in their 30s, right?
Yes.
Okay.
After
Uh,
12 months, what should they do? What's the next investment they should do?
so I have a habit of steps and points. I put it in 3 or 4 points here.
Yeah.
Number one is in your 30s, map your cash flows honestly. Don't be ambiguous or say, I don't know. You know very well, today's generation in 30s very well knows. My son is 27, 28. He knows very clearly till 35 what is his cash flow, what is his income, what is his expenses, where he's going to be investing. And today's generation knows very clearly. So, number one is have your cash flow very clear. Make Excels, maps, or whatever you want to do, but be honest about it and write it down, so that 1 year 2 years later you get married and your spouse say, no, no, I want to separate, I want second and third house. Don't let that change your goals today and your cash flows today. So that's number one. If you haven't still built your emergency fund and not done your insurances, if you have loans and you have dependents, then take that step. And health insurance, as I said, that's the number two, I would see it. And in your 30s, number three is start shifting from products to planning. Those 19 things I tell my clients, don't invest out of 20. And you'll be surprised to know I had one client who said, you don't give stock tips, you don't give NFOs ideas. I say, you don't need it because you are under careful guidance. If you're driving from Delhi to Kanpur, you don't need to be told every 1 hour, this city has come, this city has come, this city has come. And there is this beautiful park there, and there is a stopover, and there is McDonald's, and there is Starbucks. You don't need to, because you need to go from Delhi to Varanasi in next 12 hours. You need to reach your goal. So don't stop over and buy products in this financial planning journey because they came along and somebody, your friend, family, relative, uncle, auntie, and office colleague said, good investment, put 10,000. Good investment, buy real estate. New thing has come up, put some money into it. Don't do it. Because if your financial plan is there, it's your foundation. So what we explained, those 6 pillars, and the seventh one was happiness. So still here, if your happiness and your dil se, you get that noise and awaz, nahi hai zarurat nahi hai, I don't need it. Say no to that person. And still you feel that brother, uncle, auntie has come and said, take better insurance from me. Well, give him 5,000, 10,000. But don't buy a ULIP or an endowment or a money back and say no. No, I don't need it, uncle. Here is a gift for you instead. Or I'll give you some reference to you, but I don't want this kind of insurance. My financial planner called Taresh says buy only term insurance. And I have it in place for the amount I need. So these are the important steps for professionals in 30s to be very careful when they're planning their next 20 odd years. Yeah.
Okay. So let me clarify this again. First thing is 12 months, right? Next thing is you said term insurance, right? After that, what should they do? How should
Health
they
and
put money in?
health insurance, as I said, 50 lakhs, go for once a year if you can cover today.
Even if they're working, right? Because the company.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, Mudit,
Okay.
let me clarify in just 30 seconds. When you are working with a company, it's a group mediclaim policy they have taken. Number one, it belongs to the company. It doesn't belong to you, just part of 300 or 10,000 people there. Second, when you leave that company and join the next company, the 2 days in between or one day, anything happens, an accident, you're without a cover. Nobody will pay for you. Number three, When will you take your own insurance? When you are retiring at 60? No, boss. Today in India, I see 70% people having one small medicine ailment, and any insurance company honestly will reject it, will not give you. So plan it today. Have it separate. A typical company corporate gives you 5 lakhs. Please take 50 lakhs if you can, or 10 plus 40 is a top up. 50 lakhs is ideal today's environment. I would say where you and I and all the attendees here can easily afford it, a 15,000 or 20,000, even 50,000, depending on age, you can easily afford as an annual premium for health. Yes, Modit.
Okay. So emergency fund, health
Yes.
insurance, term insurance, right?
Yes.
After that, what should they do?
The goals, as I said, all the goals
Hmm.
that should be put in place. Start investing. I, as a financial planner, tell my clients easily you can do SIP in mutual funds up to 5 years. So plan long term. If you don't have a goal, please have one goal: wealth creation. So wealth creation or investing for the long term could be the third most important goal.
Oh,
And if you've not had your own house, I always say buy your own house. I've seen with my clients, so that worry of shifting every 11 months should not be there if you can plan it out. So own house, important.
okay. So we've gone till about four steps, right?
Yeah.
As in this. My simple, there are some basic rules that you keep hearing, right? You hear about the power of compounding and, a lot of these things, right? So let's say, for example, I've just heard, right? And correct me if my understanding is right. Somebody once explained to me in terms of how much to put into equity and debt. And he said, take your age and then do 100 minus your age, right? And the balance should be in equity, right? Because equity gives you long term results. So if you're 30 years old, 100 minus 30 is 70, right? So 70% of your investment should be in equity. Is that, and if you're 40, 60%, if you're 50, and you obviously would change, right? So what is your take on formula like this that one keeps hearing?
Well, on all the social media, you have these rules of money,
Yeah.
and they are absolutely wrong. They're meant for people who are watching YouTube and taking opinion from fin influencers, and they start their planning accordingly. They're all wrong. They don't mean anything for you in the long run. This is for people who are financially ignorant and choose to be financially ignorant. These are not rules. The rules are simple. As I said, these 6 pillars, plan accordingly. You have got 1 lakh, 2 lakhs income, 1 lakh household expenses. Then now spread out the 1 lakh rest of the money into your future goals.
Hmm.
And your age is 25. Well, go to 100% equity. You don't need, you're staying with your parents, you don't need so much of you're not paying rent, you're not having any dependents, you don't need insurance, you don't need to have a contingency fund more than 3 months. So put everything into, and you have to understand how equities work. That understanding is important. Get the understanding, read, learn, educate yourself. So in your 20s, go 100% for, I would say, equity mutual fund, safe. In 30s, there's no formula. It's your goals. If your goal demands that you should have 12% plus CAGR year to year, you have to ask your financial planner, I need 12% plus, because the calculation will show. If it needs 15%, tell him I need 15%. Needs 18%, tell him 18% I need. But if you're a very conservative investor, tell him I'll be very happy with 7%. I don't need to go to 8% because the calculations show it will be okay with 8%. Why go to 15 and 20 when you don't understand it? It's like, no, no, I want to be in a luxury bus, but my son says, come with me, sit in my car. I'll drive fast. You don't need to, because at your age or whatever, the bus, the luxury bus is the very good option. You don't need to sit with your son, perhaps take a risk of high driving and having a high blood pressure. There's no rule like this. Yeah,
Uh,
Udit.
Good. So I think, we've taken a lot for younger people. Let's move it to a little older because the average group here is all 40 plus.
Okay.
Okay. And let's get into some more detail for them. So, of course, the basics still remain, right? Emergency fund, health insurance, term insurance. Next, you said home, right? And
Yeah.
then, what should somebody at 40 who has not been doing this, right? What else can he do? How does he make up for lost time?
As I said, those 7 pillars, look at those 7 pillars. If you don't have a house, plan for it. Life insurance, plan for it. Health insurance, plan for it. Now look at wealth creation. Now look at your retirement. Be very clear that the top goal now will be only retirement planning. That you need 5 CR in the next 20 odd years. And do not do education for your children's uh, plan that they will, I want to send them abroad. I will keep 2 CR for them. Then I will do retirement planning.
Hmm.
So we are easily reminded of Bhagwan. Please don't get into Bhagwan kind of a category and say, no, no, they will take care of me. I'm very sure that's my upbringing. No, it is not. The generation has changed. They're going to settle abroad. They're not going to come back. They're not interested in your money or house or whatever you plan for them. So be very clear that your retirement planning and your will is there. And along with will, today we have living will. Should anything happen to you, you can't speak and write and say, what does your wife or husband do when you're on your bed for the next 1 year in a semi-comatose position? What should your wife or husband do with you and your bank and your assets? And so give them, if you have so much confidence, having a living will help. Making a special power of attorney will help. So I have given my wife special power for attorney. If I can't write or speak and she has given me, I can do anything with the assets which are there. I can go to the bank and say, I want to withdraw this cash right now. I want to transfer money. I want to sell the house. I want to do this. Because my priority in life at 40s and 50s is I want to take care of myself in the next lifetime of mine. So I'm being little, what do you say, centric.
Hmm.
Is that okay? Does that make sense?
No, no, absolutely. I think you should see. We're here to listen to you, honestly. Okay, because all of us have grown up on some truths, like, and especially social media, right? Like I was telling you a couple of things that I keep seeing, and that's why I'm asking you. And we want to hear from you exactly how it is. What should we be doing? Very, very clearly. So one of the questions is in term, and I think a lot of people don't know is, the amount of term insurance, because who knows how long you're going to take, right? So if you're in your 40s, or what decision do you make in terms of term insurance, right? What should be the amount be? What's the formula?
Easily I would look at all the liabilities and I would list it down. Let's say you are in your 40s and you got a pending education loan. You bought your house, so you got your 1 CR, 2 CR, or 5 CR as home loan pending. And then any other personal loan, if you're not into credit card revolving, you don't have any outstanding. So let's assume 2 CR, 3 CR. Even the bank has done a term insurance in your name, not you don't know it, but they will keep that. The issue is we do a what is called your life worth planning. So your 40s or in your 50s, you need to do a calculation with a financial planner. Don't do it to yourself. Don't look at Google and YouTube. Ask a financial planner, tell me how much term insurance do I need until what age? Two important things. That's what you have asked. So easily it cannot be a one line answer. It has to be a calculation that this is your income, this is your expenses, these are your liabilities, 2 crores. So could be 2 crores. That's the biggest mistake people make. So I got outstanding of 2 crores. Let me take 2 crores term insurance. No, your spouse is not working. Until your age 60, your daughter and son are going to be financially perhaps dependent on you. So the third factor is dependents are also to be taken care, which means what? Your income for the next 20 odd years is going to be what? So that projection has to be there. Then the financial planner, so I'm going a little technical into it, they will reduce your assets which can be liquidated if you're no longer there. So let's say you have a asset of 1 crore and you have other investments of 1 crore. So it could be 2 CR, the spouse can manage. Maybe you don't need further term insurance. Maybe the 2 crore for home loan is important, that's enough. So those calculations have to be done to calculate term insurance. not from a YouTube financial influencer or from Google or from a AI, but from a human financial planner who sits with you, understands, talks to you, asks you a lot of questions, and then gives you that calculation. Yeah, that.
Okay, superb, superb. And one thing which you brought out very interestingly is the question of a will, right?
Yeah.
Most of us think that whenever we are eternal, and I think this probably comes to many people very late. I don't think I find it very common that a lot of people have wills, right? So tell us, what is it? How can anybody get a will done? And like you explained, right, a living will and a will after you die, right? So what is the best way to do that?
On my website, Taresh Bhatia, there is a draft sample I've kept. One can go there and pick up the draft and make the will. I don't advise it. It's for your understanding. So, the number one question is make a list of all the things you own today, not what you plan to buy or you will get from your parent when he passes away. No, what you own today, as of today. So, will is as of today always. Number one, what you own. Number two, your liabilities. If you have any loans, outstandings. Number four, your insurance. So, write down that I have an insurance of 2 crores. Please pay the home loan for against that. Then comes your dependents. That as of today, if I die tomorrow, then I want this to go to. So in my terms, I would say go to my spouse, my wife. The wife has to make a parallel will, or the husband has to make a parallel will, separate, saying what she owns today in that will goes to their children. Then the clause comes, technically called as if my wife supersedes me before me, passing away, then what happens? Then my assets go directly to my children in what proportion? So let's say 50% to my son and daughter. If it's let's say 1 crore of mutual funds, then 50 lakhs each. Question comes, it's one house worth 5 crores. How do you want it to be distributed? So you have to decide that today. I've seen clients and I told them don't do this because you can't divide a house in 50-50, and after you're gone you will easily, you have created a fight today. So either create a separate asset for your daughter, say this is for you. It may not be equal to 5 CR, but it's around 3-4 CR. So write it down in your will. And the last is there are about 5-7 technical components in a will. It has to be signed on the last page by 2 witnesses who give their PAN and Aadhaar on the last page. They sign only on the last page. They don't need to read the will. They don't have to be told anything about the will. Obviously, your spouse and the nearest person, the dependent on you, should be knowing everything. So when you make the will, you can do it on a plain paper, you can do it on a stamp paper, you can get it registered if you feel that this is going to be contested and there are going to be issues. You can register with the local general district court. And it's actually no cost, but a local advocate would take 5,000 or 10,000 to get it registered, get you in 15 days, the will copy will come to you. The registered will is kept in the court, district court. Except 2 or 3 cities, Mumbai and Calcutta, you need a process called as probate of the will. So in Delhi, Gurgaon, I would know my wife would need to go to the court and say, this is a copy of the will. I need to have a probate of the will. Now the probate is, the court says, I order the bank to give my wife this much amount and this property can be transferred into her name. That the order is called as probate. So these are technical processes which needs to be done. And one small suggestion is always when you make a will, just go to a general practitioner and take a certificate saying, please write down, uh, people can note it down. I am of sound, I have checked Mr. Taresh Bhatia, address, son of this, PAN, Aadhaar, this, to be of sound mental health. And please attach this with the will and keep it as a document, because tomorrow your children or anybody doesn't say he was not of sound mental health. वो पागल था जब उसने will बनाई और सब कुछ अपने उसके उसके नाम कर दिया. Everything is given to his charity and he was not of sound mental, so it cannot be challenged. In the court, it's already there registered. So these are some simple components of how to make a will. A good financial planner would take into account what you own, what you should ideally be giving out to whom, and why, and at what age it may be given out. So he would keep these factors in mind and then help you to make a will. So a financial planner good who's qualified can help you make a will for that matter, and get it registered in court as the normal expenses. Yes, Mudit.
Superb, superb. So we've had all that, and I think as people quickly take, a little while to digest the
Sure.
fact that they all need to make wills, let's take a little break, and we'll come back again in 30 to 40 seconds. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Let me get back. And like I said, I'm looking forward to all of you at our Global CXO Accelerator Summit. So, team, put out the link, the website link, and I hope to see many of you there, whether you're part of my community or you're not. So, great. And now we come to the section of really taking a few. Tarek, you have a few more minutes. Can we go for another
Sure.
20 minutes? Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Okay, great. So now we'll take a few questions from the audience. Okay. And I'll pick the questions not because
Sure.
I like you or I don't like you, but the question pick is going to be based on something that is going to, they'll answer questions for everybody. Okay. So it's not just you alone, unless I feel that it's right. So I'm going to now, if you want to put your question, please put your questions in, uh, you know, into the chat because I've not been looking. If you have a question right up front, it would be there, right? Okay. So as a general question that I'm seeing here, in terms of insurance companies, right? What for, let's say, health or term insurance, in terms of being able to settle claims very well, or the speed of settlement and the amount of settlement, are there some companies, let's say the top three, that you would recommend to the audience?
See, when I look at term insurance life, which I have done for the last exactly about 26 years, I'm a life insurance advisor also. So I've been in life insurance industry and deeply involved. Term insurance is just about 25 factors when I look at it to analyze which company is the best. So you don't need to go to 25 factors, but the top 1 to 3 could be. But I would say speak to a good financial advisor. He will tell you which is the best for you with no bias. Number one. Number two is, technically speaking, it's called claim settlement ratio. So the authority like IRDA publishes a list of, there are about 25, 30 life insurance companies in India today. There are about 10 more coming up. So it's so confusing which is the best life insurance company to take up. So based on this, a company, I don't want to name them because it becomes so biased. It should be claim settlement ratio. It should be that you're sure you know the advisor and he's going to fill up all the details which you're going to give him. Today it is all verbal and it is all over the net and over the it's a virtual form which you fill up and you get the form online and you check it. But please fill up any medical or any other questions being asked very clearly and honestly. More important is that factor, because I've seen claims now being rejected by life insurance companies if you didn't tell them that you already have a 1 crore term insurance, that you have 2 crores of outstanding home loan. Please do not fill these. So important is claim settlement ratio should be good. The premium should be okay. Please don't go for the lowest premium because the claim settlement ratio may be low. And so goes for health insurance companies also. Please look at the advisor. If he's honest, he's going to fill up everything and he's going to give you a policy with some riders or some extra loading, but he's going to give you that health insurance policy for the amount which you need correctly. Yeah, Mudit.
Okay, super. So there's another question in the chat which I see here, right? Is it good to invest in NPS?
As a corporate at this stage today, yes, it's a good idea because of two reasons. If you are a corporate employee, uh, in the new tax regime, technically speaking, 14%, and you need to check with your HR, 14% of your basic salary, which now has been increased to 50% of your total CTC in the latest developments. So 14% of your CTC gross salary is marked for NPS. So to give my son's example, he's working with a top five companies of India in consulting. So I told him 14% is kind of tax-free money which your company is going to give to NPS. You're going to contribute 12 or 14% of your CTC. So that goes for his retirement planning, kind of tax-free because there's no tax deduction today. So it goes separate. Yes, do it, NPS, but be very clear that it's part of your retirement planning. Tell your financial planner, I've done NPS and it's part of my financial planning for retirement. And there are major changes happening in NPS. Please do read about it, NPS, the latest changes which are happening. Even on my blog.tareshbhatia.com, I put a lot of things on the latest NPS and how it works. Yes, it's a good idea, NPS.
Okay, good. Another question is above 50, is it too late to take a term insurance? And what should be the target?
A good question. Yes, it's too late, perhaps. If you have even one ailment, one medicine, uh, the insurance company honestly may not give you. So don't take it. If they're not giving it, please be assured, feel good. Okay, I'm not getting it the right way. Don't go the wrong way. Don't hide material facts because you're going to get rejected. Your whole money is going to be wasted after 10 years if they find out that you hidden material facts. So you need to plan. If you have any medical issues, term insurance may be a no straight away. Plan your contingency fund, plan your wealth creation, plan your retirement planning, plan fund for your spouse accordingly.
Okay.
Okay, to continue, yes, if you still are healthy, no medicines, yes, take a term insurance. As I explained, the formulas, dependents, the loans outstanding, your rest of lifetime, what you plan to do with your goals. Put all that together. So a financial planner will bring inflation into it. Say, okay, 10 years later, 20 years later, this goal bring to today's value. If you were to die tomorrow, then this is the human life value we call it, is what you need, a 5 cr. So take 4 cr because you got 1 crore of assets which can be liquidated. So there are calculations done by the financial planner to tell you exactly how much term insurance you need, and be very careful. Don't take a whole life plan, don't take endowment, don't take money back, because you don't need whole life plan till you die. We need only till 60, because I assume you're doing your retirement planning, you're doing your wealth creation, you made your spouse being now very clear if he or she is earning, then are very clear both of you that you've got income which is going to be coming after you from your retirement planning or wealth creation which you have done, and estate planning which you've done properly. If all those things are in place, uh, in today's life in India, you don't need more than 58 or 60 of your age. Stop the term insurance then. It's going to save you 25% to 50% premium if you just take this one small tip from me today. Yep.
Okay. Let's take this one on buying homes with loans, right? Is it always better to do that, or because there is an interest cost, right, that people pay, and you can use that money somewhere else also, right? Or should people, accumulate, take it at an investment, keep buying, even though I think you've said it's number three, right? After 12 months, after insurance, home, right?
Yes.
What is your opinion on?
See, it will vary according to the family structure. It will vary according to the income. It will vary according to your goals. It will depend on which city you plan to buy the house. So if it's Gurgaon or Chennai or a big metro, obviously the cost of buying the house is more. If it's a smaller city like Indore or Lucknow or Varanasi or Kanpur or Jaipur, obviously the cost could be one third or half of it. So that's one factor. The second is the family structure. The third is income. The fourth now comes is how much should I? So I had a client who came only for this to me for financial planning. I said, they have only one question. How much, कितने का घर ले सकते हैं? How much can we buy? Can it be 2 CR? Can it be 5 CR? Do we need to buy? Should we stay in a rented for rest of lifetime and accumulate and create wealth? And we'll think after 5 years. Only one question they had. So we did a detailed financial planning, income of the spouse, both of them were earning, which place, how much is the rent. If they were to buy, what is the cost of the house? The house they're living in, let's say it is worth 2 CR. Now do the backward calculation. So you'll need to pay 10% down payment. Do you have 20 lakhs down payment? Now comes if 20 lakhs is down payment on a 2 CR house, the balance 1 crore 80, reverse calculation will be done by the financial planner, the EMIs. Now the EMI should not be more than 30% max. If you have no other loans of your net take home, if your net take home is 2 lakhs, then 60,000 is the max EMI of the house which you plan to buy. So if you cannot buy 2 CR, go and find a house which is 1.5 CR today. 5 years later, sell that house and go to a 2 CR. You want 5 CR, then 5 years later, again do the recalculations. So it cannot be more than 30%. EMI should not be more than 30% of your net take home if no other loans are there. And that 30% also you can afford. Is it manageable within your income less expenses, spare income, possibly for investment? Yeah.
Great. Now, here's a question for someone who's already done the basics, health insurance, there's that. Now, I think the question really is that when should you get into ULIPs purely for the purpose of saving long term capital gains tax?
A good question and a very tricky question. And most of the biased financial planners will say, great idea. No, it is not. I have sold ULIPs for years with a purpose to certain select clients, but it was from 2001 to 2012 in an era when it did make sense. Today it doesn't. There are hidden costs. There is insurance company, so it is going to earn money. So there are 3, 4 kind of expenses which are going to be there. Why should you pay for that? Put straight into a mutual fund where the expense ratio is just 0.5 or 0.7%. And that is for professionally managing your fund. You already taken term insurance. So from an insurance perspective, term insurance from a life insurance company, full stop. Please put rest of the money into equity mutual funds diversified for the next 10, 20-year horizon as per your risk appetite. No ULIPs. This theory of capital gain saving, tax saving is very short sightedness. And I do have clients who have asked me this. And I do have questions I'm quoted in a lot of vernacular and other newspapers and TV channels. It's a very short sightedness. Let me save some tax. Why should you save tax when there are opportunities in equity mutual funds which you can invest for long term and still make better money than a ULIP, better returns than a ULIP? And then pay taxes accordingly. It will be much better end of money in a mutual fund equity diversified across 10 and 20 years. Yes.
Okay. So here's a question on, okay, let me just try and take one which is based on another topic, which is, okay, let me take this. Okay. Now, in terms of pension planning, right? What, are there any, what would be the preferred kind of schemes to build pension, right? So I presume pension here would be, I think,
Retirement planning. Yeah.
yeah, annuities or, whatever, right? I mean, in that category, what should people look at?
Okay. First, I'll give you a calculation and everybody can make a note that will make numbers very clear. So because I know this from straight, I don't need to do a calculation. Please make a note, everyone. Your age 40, your household expense is 1 lakh today. At age 60, this 1 lakh will become 3 lakh 67 as per 7% inflation in India as of today. I take it as last 40 years average, although the government, maybe Modi, may be trying to make it to 3% inflation. 7% inflation, a 1 lakh household 20 years later becomes 3 lakh 67. At age 60, you would need about 8 crore rupees to survive from your age 60 to 85. Add another 5 years for your spouse or wife. So that 30 years in retirement, you need 8 crores. For that 8 crores, this is a realistic number, realistic calculation, you need to start saving 75,000 rupees today at age 40. If you cannot do 75,000 rupees per month, then start with 37,000 rupees today and step up by 10% every year for the next 20 odd years from your age 40 to 60. But this question, 60,000, 70,000 per month, household expenses, well, you need to do inflation calculation first. 20 years later, this will become about 3 times. So you would need about 2 lakh rupees 20 years from today at inflation of 7%. Okay, I'll give the next calculation, very simplified. Where do you put this money? So as a professional, I'm against annuity. I'm against putting money in annuities like LIC and some of the other private companies. Why? Today, their effective return is around 6%, 6.5, max 7. There are 5 options available when you buy annuity. Annuities for people who don't understand money, are not in Mudit Saxena circles, are not in touch with Taresh Bhatia. They have no idea of where to put their money and they trust LIC like anything. No, it's very good for them, honestly. No bias. But at 6.5% return in annuity, you're not even beating inflation of 7%. So today you have to make sure your money works at 12%, 15% at least. Why? Because 6% inflation and India's growing GDP at 6%, easily 12% you can get easily in equity mutual funds. Now, coming to the calculation, a 2CR 10 years from now will easily give you 1.5 lakh rupees per month of pension retirement fund year to year for the next 20 years thereafter. And that 2CR will grow to 4CR in the next 20 years thereafter still. Kind of tax free. It's around 5 to 7%, a calculation which I do for my clients. So taxation is reduced, liquidity is maintained, 1.5 lakh comes to you. So much of flexibility. There are 5 options available, and you manage your fund 2CR, 3CR. You want to leave India at that age, go abroad, take out entire 3 years CR and go. It's not bound, it's not struck somewhere. Yeah, Mudit?
Okay, great. Thanks for that. And we'll just take one quick break and then come back again just for the last segment. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, guys, welcome back. And like I said, I'd love to see you at the at our Global CXO Accelerator Summit. And team, if you can put the link there, that'll be great. Yeah. Okay, Taresh, if you can have you back on the video, that'll be great. I think your video is off. Taresh, you're on mute and the video is off. Okay, let me just see. We'll just wait for Tariq to come back. Just 1 minute. Let me just check if he is there or is everything okay. Just a minute.
I think he's in a short break of 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, hi, welcome back. Sorry, I couldn't, I didn't see. Maybe you put it in. Super. We're all loving this, and so I'm just going to. I think there's lots of questions, and I'm going to tell because we can't answer everything in this time, right? So, like you had mentioned, Tarish, what's the best way for people to reach you? How can they take advantage of a certified financial planner like you?
The best way is I've just put it in the chat, and I'll share the QR code also if you permit.
Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So just scan this code with your mobile. It's there on the screen in the chats, and you can share with the participants also. So this
Yeah.
is a financial planning orientation session. It will take you about 1.5 hours to understand how financial planning works. Is it for you? How can it be helpful? What all do you need to cover in a financial planning session? Once you've gone through it, then please fill up a questionnaire for me. It's given in this course. It's a mini course of financial planning. Take you about 1.5 2 hours. Anybody who joins, and fill up the questionnaire. There's a 30 minutes clarity session that I offer at the end of this in this course, and based on that questionnaire, I will take up questions for the first 15 minutes, give you scope of work, and in 30 minutes give you very clear cut. This is my fee for advising you. This is how you can get started. This is what you should be doing, not doing, and take it forward from there. So this is the best way, and this is the fastest way, the best way to be getting started with me as a financial planner.
Superb, superb. I'm sure there are a lot of people here who could do with your experience. And one of the questions that I see here is, that a lot of people, get into trying to do stuff on their own, right? Uh, Unfortunately, the only people I've heard who make money on tips are waiters and people who polish shoes, right? The rest of them very often listen to and then they get lose their money. So the question really here is, should people be when should people be doing investing in stocks on their own vis-a-vis when should they go to a mutual fund? What is your general recommendation given across your experience?
See, I've handled clients from 1,000 rupee SIP you started or 5,000 rupee SIP started years back. I would say for anyone here today in this session, you can be easily doing all your financial goals with mutual funds. There are 25 categories of mutual funds, from very safe, conservative investors to balanced investors to equity investors. And then there are very high risk equity mutual funds. So I take my clients like emergency fund, we keep in conservative funds, debt funds. The near to 3 year goals, we keep in balanced funds, or that pension or retirement planning in balanced category of mutual funds. And wealth creation, like 12 to 15% plus in equity mutual funds diversified for 10 and 15 and 20 years horizon. So up to 5 CR, even up to 10 CR, you can do retirement goal planning, wealth creation easily in mutual funds. You don't need to go to stocks at all. When you have 5 CR khali, chutta, just lying spare, other than the goals you have done, the 7 pillars of financial planning pillars, you have done that work. And then you have 1 to 5 CR spare just lying here and you want to play around, then go to stocks, is my personal professional opinion. Please don't go there, because you can become zero in one day and you don't know whether it will come back to once a year and when. And obviously consult a good stockbroker to get the right advice. Please do not do it yourself, even in financial planning, even in mutual funds, even in stocks. Yeah.
Okay, super. So as we come to round out, I could keep going on and on and on with you. Really, Taresh, it's such a pleasure. And, people have, but just one thing that I want you to sum up. And I think the most important thing are the pillars, right? Or I
Yeah.
to you, if there's anything else you want to leave the audience with, because I've seen people over there who, wanting to hear, and there's so much to absorb, right? So, what do you want your last parting words to the audience here?
Again, I believe in two, three, four, five things. So, about five things. Number one, as I said, emergency fund. Please write down: necessary but not sufficient. Biggest mistake after 30: earning more but planning less. Sign of fragile finances: panic during income pauses happens. Fourth, habit for long term peace: regular review with clarity. These are my last four lines, but two more I'll add. Financial planning lays the foundation of those six pillars, and your happiness is your personalized happiness, which starts with your mindset, what you believe, what you should be doing, and brings you happiness here. And the mind says you are happy. And last to last, I'll define happiness. Happiness is, in my opinion, and I've created this definition for all the audience here. Happiness is something which you do with your time when you have the money with somebody. And when you bring these three together, you find more time to create more happiness with more money you have in hand, with somebody gives you more pleasure, and that brings you more joy, is called as happiness. Thank you, Madhut.
Superb. So we've had money talks, we've had spirituality, we've had, personal definitions of happiness. Thank you so much, Taresh. We've given people a free course. Thank you very much for that. You've been so generous with your time, so generous with your knowledge, and really on behalf of, the community, guys, I think the least we can do is to share some lovely emoticons. What do you really feel? What's your thing? Let's see that. Yeah, share your love, and you know
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
uh,
you.
for us, just because Taresh is a friend of mine, and we're going to be bringing on many more every Saturday now till for the next 6 months. We're going to get people in, and thank you, Taresh. Really, thank you very much, and such a pleasure to have you here. And fantastic. I mean, this is a masterclass. I wish I'd heard it much earlier in my life. And I think above all, if there's one thing I'd like to tell every parent here is, even if nobody taught us, let your children learn something about basic financial principles. Yeah. So thank you so much, and see you
I
guys
have
again.
this book which I've written, The Richness Principles,
Yeah.
that can be looked at Amazon, and I can share the link with the participants.
Yes, please
This
do.
starts with the basics, the mindset, and how you can think about it, and gives basic knowledge of how you should be doing the six pillars. This can be purchased also. Thank you,
Thank
Mudit.
you.
Thanks a
Yes,
lot.
absolutely. Thank you very much. And see you guys all over again. Thank you very much, and take care. And bye bye until we sign off. So I'm just signing off from here, and take care. Thank you very much again. Yeah.
Thank you.